Here your first look at a Delidded AMD Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU with next-gen 3D V-Cache tech. AMD's Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D is shaping up to be a one-of-a-kind CPU for the gaming segment, and we have the first look at the Delidded chip, which features next-gen 3D V-Cache technology. AMD Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D Delidded CPU shows no 3D V-Cache traces on the front of the CCD, confirming updated X3D tech. The AMD Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU will be the successor to the Ryzen 7 7800 by 3D. The latter has been a huge success on the AM5 platform, just like the Ryzen 7 5800 by 3D was on the AM4 platform. While the chip is expected for a formal launch on the 7th of November as teased by the Red Team, we have obtained the first Delidded pictures of the Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU from our sources, confirming one big change. At first glance, the Delidded AMD Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU will look like a standard Ryzen 9000 chip with a single CCD and I/O die. You can see that the chip has several power caps on the outskirts, and the CCD I/O are positioned in the same manner as the Ryzen 9000 CPUs based on the Zen 5 core architecture. But there's one big change that's evident by looking at the CCD. On previous iterations of 3D V-Cache offerings such as the Ryzen 5000 by 3D and Ryzen 7000 by 3D CPUs, you can see traces of the 3D V-Cache stack when light is reflected at a certain angle. That is not the case with the Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D, which has no such traces on the top of the CCD. This is because the Ryzen 9000 by 3D CPUs employ the 3D V-Cache stack underneath the Zen 5 CCD, and that's the next generation technology that is expected to debut with the new 3D V-Cache chips. This confirms a recent post by HXL, at 9550 Pro, who also stated a similar 3D V-Cache stacking hierarchy for the new chips. The most interesting thing about this new stacking design is that it opens the room for another 3D V-Cache stack to be employed over the Zen 5 CCD, so you could theoretically get two stacks. This would make for a true stacked chiplet design for the desktop segment. Going such a route will be a bit tricky since power, cost, and thermals have to be kept in mind, but there is definitely a possibility, and maybe we will see such products in the future. Although we weren't told what sort of benefits the new 3D V-Cache stacking technology would bring to the table, it will be interesting to see the chip in action, especially its thermal and power characteristics. In addition to the Delidded chip, we also have detailed box images of the Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU from Momomo_US, which comes with a new trim and looks great. It's going to have that elite gaming look. The AMD Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D CPU will feature 8 cores based on the Zen 5 core architecture, 16 threads, 96 MB of L3 cache, 32 MB L3 plus 64 MB 3D V-Cache, 8 MB of L2 cache, a base clock of 4.70 GHz and a boost clock of 5.20 GHz. The chip will be configured at 120 watts. The CPUs will also implement full overclocking support. With that said, we look forward to more details about the next generation AMD Ryzen 9000 by 3D CPUs and the Ryzen 7 9800 by 3D V-Cache chip in the coming weeks.